Ever since the conviction of Harvey Weinstein, the MeToo movement has revealed just how widespread sexual harassment and assault is in every part of the world. While humans aren't perfect, these forms of misconduct are often suppressed by people who have power, whether through money or fame. Because of this, although accusations of sex crimes are common, it's shocking to find a celebrity or other famous figure actually get convicted for their accused actions. Aside from Weinstein, who else has seen justice for their perverted crimes? In this video, we'll be covering 9 famous people convicted of sex crimes. Some of these people used to be on top of the world before their actions behind closed doors came back to bite them. Think twice before bringing their names up in conversations. Stay until the end of the video for one criminal that actually walks free today and that you should be careful of. So, let's get started. Number 9. Tupac Shakur. When legendary rapper Tupac was arrested in 1993, he would later claim shock and pain that a woman would accuse him of taking something away from her. The woman in question, Ayanna Jackson, had charged Tupac with sodomy and rape along with 2 others who were with them. Notably, Jackson had opened up about what had happened that night in an interview with Vlad TV in 2018. She had a consensual sexual relationship with Tupac at the time. However, on November 19th, Tupac had crossed her boundaries by deciding to share her with his boys, leading to her being taken by the group and forced into sex with them. Despite this being a group incident, Tupac was the only one charged for the incident, where he repeatedly tried to deflect blame and guilt of the situation on himself towards Jackson. Try as he might, he was ultimately sent to 9 months in prison for this one incident of many in his tumultuous career. Number 8. Mike Tyson. Having been out of the spotlight for over a decade, former boxer Mike Tyson has seemingly devoted himself to a life of reformation, and perhaps for good reason. In addition to problems with drug abuse, Tyson had to contend with an ever-looming blight on his career: the rape of 18-year-old Desiree Washington. Convicted in 1992 and spending 3 years in prison, Tyson would continuously denounce the original accusations and paint Washington as a manipulator. This isn't the first time he shifts blame onto a woman. He would also deny accusations of abuse from former wife Robin Givens. Tyson's reformation after his boxing career would never see him reconcile, forgive, or acknowledge any of these claims even after doing time in prison. And it's likely that he will continue to do so until his death. Mike Tyson has had a mixed reputation throughout his life. How do you feel about him? Let us know in the comments below. Now, back to the video. Number 7. Allison Mack. Television actor Allison Mack used to be known for her long-term role on the series Smallville, before becoming more infamously known for her involvement with multi-level marketing company and NXIVM. Having joined in 2006, Mack became increasingly involved in NXIVM's cult-like activities, founded on inspirational coaching, and eventually became tightly bound to founder Keith Raniere's inner circle. Mack would contribute to selling the organization's subgroup, DOS, to unknowing new recruits as dedicated to women's empowerment, when in reality it was all a scheme to funnel them to Raniere for his own pleasure as what essentially was sexual slavery. While on some level Mack is a victim of Raniere, her contributions to the cult's harm and torturous methods would not be forgiven in the eyes of the public, leading her to be convicted for racketeering in 2019. Raniere would go down with her, marking the end of NXIVM along with her career. Number 6. Kyle Massey. This one is probably known if you were growing up in the late 2000s. Kyle Massey was a child actor for the Disney Channel, notably for the shows That's So Raven and its spin-off Cory in the House. If you've been on the internet long enough, you've probably seen Cory in the House become somewhat of a meme, which is why it hurts to see its leading actor get involved in something as nasty as chasing underage girls. The news came out on June 29, 2021, when Massey was charged with immoral communication with a minor after sending lewd photos to a 13-year-old girl. The case had begun earlier, however, in 2019, where attorneys representing the girl in question had sued Massey and threatened to make the allegations public if he didn't comply with their demand of $1.5 million. Allegedly, this had been a long time coming, with Massey being involved with the victim since she was only 4. No comment on that one. Number 5. R. Kelly. Once on the top of the world as the best-selling R&B artist, R. Kelly's life and reputation would come to a grinding halt after numerous allegations of sexual abuse. These scandalous reports would begin in the 1990s, when R. Kelly engaged in several sexual relationships with underage girls. The first known instance was in 1991, when Kelly had a relationship with a high schooler and pressured her into getting other girls for him to have group sex together. If that wasn't bad enough, the same year he would be introduced to another girl, then 12-year-old Aaliyah Houghton, who he would illegally marry on August 31st, 1994. These early incidents would only foreshadow the ensuing onslaught of allegations in the following years. In 2002, Kelly was both accused of underage sexual abuse and child pornography possession after multiple videos connected to him were uncovered. Starting in 2015, journalists and victims began pressing Kelly with accusations and accounts of multiple incidents of sexual misconduct, reopening investigations and scrutiny into Kelly's past actions. This would eventually culminate in Kelly's arrest on February 22, 2019, convicted of multiple instances of sexual abuse. Even afterwards, more charges continued to get piled as more evidence of his crimes come to light. Number 4. Jared Fogle. While arguably not a celebrity in the same way as others on this list, if you've seen Subway commercials in the 2000s, you must remember Jared Fogle. After having lost hundreds of pounds between 1998 to 1999, Fogle became the advertising face of Subway in an effort to promote their brand as the healthy alternative to fast food across the US. For 15 years, he would be featured in many of Subway's commercials, evangelizing the importance of exercise and dieting with Subway. So much of their content became tied with Fogle's image that it was hard for them to stomach what happened when the FBI cracked down on Fogle in 2015 for charges of child sex tourism and pornography possession. Yikes! Even before the arrest in 2015, the FBI had an eye on Fogle for a while. In 2007, a journalist began keeping tabs on Fogle after having made lewd remarks about middle schoolers. Since then, collecting recordings of these types of remarks from the otherwise beloved spokesman. The real tipping point was when his associate, Russell Taylor, then director of his nonprofit The Jared Foundation, got arrested for his own child pornography crimes, tracing him back to Fogle. Be glad that he couldn't keep his twisted desires to himself as he continues to serve time until at least 2030. Number 3. Roman Polanski. Having experienced the murder of his wife at the hands of the Manson family in 1969, acclaimed film director Roman Polanski's troubled circumstances and the press's callousness to her death caused a cynical shift in his personality. The unwellness from his loss may have contributed to his descent into depravity, as he would in the following years engage in sexual misconduct with young girls under the age of 18. Or, alternatively, in his own words, it probably was bound to happen. The most prominent incident occurred on March 10, 1977, when the director was arrested for several offenses against 13-year-old Samantha Gailey. These charges include intercourse with a minor, perversion, sodomy, rape by use of drugs, lewd and lascivious act upon a child under 14, and the furnishing of a controlled substance to a minor. Despite accepting a plea bargain to dismiss all charges aside from the first, the incident would see Polanski becoming the fugitive he is today, leaving the United States to stay in France, where he currently lives to evade arrest. Number 2. Marilyn Manson. Speaking of the Manson family, here's another infamous Manson to keep an eye on. The renowned rock musician Marilyn Manson has always been associated with controversy over the years of his career. With a name partially taken from Charles Manson, the specter of violence has followed the musician's reputation as painting him an influencer for murderers and massacres. However, little of these complaints about his music actually address the very real acts of sexual misconduct that Manson has perpetrated. The most definitive sex crime that Manson has been convicted of happened in December 2001, when Manson assaulted a security guard, Joshua Kiesler, after spitting on his head and rubbing his genitals on it during a concert in Clarkston, Michigan. He would be charged with criminal sexual conduct and misdemeanor assault and battery, to which he would plead no contest and receive a $4,000 fine. While this hasn't landed him in jail, there has been recent allegations that began in 2020 of sexual assault from former partners of Manson. If evidence surfaces in the future doesn't look good for him. Number 1. Bill Cosby. Having produced and starred in multiple iconic television shows such as Fat Albert and The Cosby Kids and The Cosby Show, comedian Bill Cosby had become a household name in the 20th century. However, behind the scenes, there was a darker side to the jovial entertainer. As early as December 1965, Cosby had allegations of drugging and sexual assault put on his name in several unpublicized incidents. More prominent allegations came in the early 2000s when multiple women accused him of doing similar things to them, adding that Cosby used his power and influence to suppress these allegations. Because of this, these charges would go nowhere until in 2014, when another comedian, Hannibal Buress, would spread awareness of Cosby's allegations during Buress's regular stand-up routines, which would cause multiple prominent women to speak out against Cosby's behavior and lead to a conviction in 2018 for aggravated indecent assault. Notably, his conviction had been overturned in 2021 due to an unfair trial. He currently walks free and had reportedly planned for a comeback after prison. It's probably a good idea to look the other direction. So there you have it. If you weren't aware of these incidents before, we hope you now know to be wary of these otherwise once beloved figures and entertainers. Which one of these people impacted you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you appreciated this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more true crime coverage. Thanks for watching, and see you soon in the next video.